This conference will now be recorded.
याली मदद याली मदद बहुत खूब सुभान अल्लाह तमाम साथियों को याली मदद and thank you for joining us this morning. We are a little bit earlier than normal time so we can finish on time for all of our friends in the Americas can go for the majalis this morning. Let's start our subject, a continuous subject. The question that we have put almost 15, 16 weeks ago, have we recognized and understood the Imam as we should have? क्या हम अपने इमाम को इस तरह से जानते और पहचानते हैं जैसा कि हमें उसको जानना और पहचानना चाहिए? वमा कदरुल्लाह कदरी, क्या हमने उसकी वो कदर की इस तरह से उसकी कदर करनी चाहिए? That is the subject of the day, part 17. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. या मौलाए मेहरबान, या मौलाए मेहरबान, या मौलाए मेहरबान, मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा. या मौलाए मेहरबान, मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा. अलैयुल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह, मदद फरमा. अलैयुल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह, अलैयुल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह, मदद फरमा. नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल सैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम. या मौलाए मेहरबान, तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी मौला. तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी मौला. या मौला अपने नूर से हमारी मदद फरमा मौला. या मौला करीब आते हुए अपना दस्ते मुबारक हमारे कंधों पर रखना मौला. हमारे करीब आकर हमारी हिदायत फरमाना मौला, ताकि तेरे नूर की रोशनी में हम इस सिरातुल मुस्तकीम पर, इस इल्मी सफर पर आगे से आगे बढ़ सके मौला. या मौलाए मेहरबान, या रहमान या रहीम, मदद फरमा मौला. तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी मौला. तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी मौला. तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद. On your screen, this was the last screen we had in the previous week, and the very last line of the Imam's Farman, where Imam mentions the blind and the seeing are not the same. If you give a mirror or a piece of clay to the blind, it would be same to them because they have no eyes or eyesight to see. On the very subject we will start today, from that Farman, the very subject. Those who know the Imam and recognize the Imam, can they be the same as those who do not know the Imam nor recognize the Imam? Here we are not talking about anyone other than ourselves. we may know as others that Prince Karim Aga Khan is the 49th Imam of the Shah Imami Ismailiya Jamaat. Then what is the difference between us being Ismaili and those who are not Ismaili, because they have that much information? मौला के इस फरमान से ही हम आगाज करते हैं और इसकी एक लाइन से कि जहां पर मौला फरमाते हैं कि क्या अंधे और देखने वाले बराबर बराबर होते हैं? अगर आप अंधे को एक शीशा या ठिकरी दे, उसके लिए दोनों बराबर है, क्योंकि ना तो उसके पास आंखें हैं ना ही वो देख सकता है। इसी सवाल को लेते हुए आज के चैप्टर का आगाज होता है। वो लोग जो ना तो इमाम को जानते हैं ना ही इमाम को पहचानते हैं, और वो लोग जो इमाम को जानते भी हैं और पहचानते भी हैं, क्या वो बराबर बराबर हो सकते हैं? कभी कभार हम अपनी नादानी या नासमझी की वजह से ये कहते हैं कि तमाम मज़ाहिब बराबर बराबर है। यानी कि आप ये कहते हैं कि हमारे पास इमाम है या नहीं है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हम सब बराबर बराबर हैं। यानी कि हमें ये बात जो पूछी गई थी ऊपर, वमा कदरुल्लाह कदरी, हमने इमाम की ऐसी कदर नहीं की जैसी कदर करनी चाहिए थी। यानी कि हमने इमाम को सिरे से ही गिरा दिया कि तमाम मज़ाहिब बराबर है, हमारे पास इमाम है या नहीं है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। और यही चैलेंज सवाल हमारी तवज्जो दिलाई गई कुरान के अंदर कि तुमने अपने खुदा की, अपने इमाम की कदर नहीं की जैसे करनी चाहिए थी। That was the very question that those who know the Aga Khan as being the 49th Imam of the Ismaili Tariqa and us as being Ismaili, what is the difference when sometime, maybe just due to the lack of knowledge or understanding, we find our Jamaat saying all the religion are same. In other words, you are saying it does not matter if we have Imam or not, because our tariqah and the other tariqahs, our religion and the other religion are the same. That is exactly what Allah have said in the Quran, wama qadrullaha qadri. Wama qadrullaha qadri. You have not appreciated and appraised. You have not valued what you have. The Imam that you have no value, because to you he is there or not there is same. When do we say that? When we say we are all same. There is no difference between us and others. And I already made that disclosure. I'm not talking about any other religion here. I'm only interested and only speaking of our understanding of the Imam. Why would I do that? Who gave me the permission to do that? What right do I have to do that? I get my permission and my right from the Imam's Farman, where Imam said it is a fundamental principle, the core Asul Deen, to recognize the Imam of the time. That is my permission. That is my appointment letter right there. Imam have given us the Farman. As a Ismaili Murid, we supposed to listen, understand, and follow the Farman, and therefore we must recognize the Imam. We know the Imam. We know the Imam. We need to recognize the Imam. कहां पर लिखा हुआ है और किसने मुझे ये इजाजत दी और अथॉरिटी दी कि मैं ये बात कहूं कि हमने इमाम को ऐसे नहीं पहचाना, उसकी कदर नहीं की जैसे उसकी कदर करनी चाहिए थी। ये परमिशन, इजाजत फरमान से आती है, जहां पर मौला ने फरमाया कि हमारे मजहब का कोर प्रिंसिपल, असूल दीन ये है कि जमात इमाम को पहचाने। हम इमाम को जानते तो है, पहचानते नहीं है। और यही बात यहां पर हम आज कर रहे हैं। और आप देखें, ये सवालत की सूरत में या हमारे सोचने की सूरत में है कि जब मौला ने फरमाया कि वो शख्स जो अंधे हैं या जानबूझ के अंधे बने हुए हैं, और वो शख्स जो देखने वाले हैं, समझने वाले हैं, अक्ल वाले हैं, क्या वो बराबर बराबर हो सकते हैं? वो लोग जो इल्म के साथ इमाम को पहचानते हैं, क्या वो लोग बराबर बराबर हो सकते हैं? Those who have known the Imam and now have recognized the Imam, can they be the same? Those who are blind intentionally to the Imam and its value, the position, the rank of the Imam, and those who have blinded themselves and have not recognized the Imam, can they be the same? We are fortunate enough to be not only born in Ismaili Tariqah, we have a loving Rahman and Rahim, most merciful Imam. What is holding us back for having recognition of Imam? हमारी खुशकिस्मती देखें कि ना सिर्फ हम इस्माइली तरीके में पैदा हुए, बल्कि हमारे पास एक जिंदा हाजिर मौजूद रहमान और रहीम शफकत वाला इमाम मौजूद है। फिर हमें क्या परेशानी है और क्या वजह है कि हम उसकी ऐसी कदर ना करें, उसको वो दर्जा ना दें जो कि दर्जा और जो समझ जो हमें उसको देना चाहिए। और ऊपर से हम ये कहें कि कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि हमारे तरीके में इमाम है कि नहीं है, हमारा तरीका भी दूसरे तरीकों की तरह है, हमारा मजहब भी दूसरे मजहब की तरह है। यानी कि आप ये कहते हैं कि हमारे पास इमाम है कि नहीं है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। नहीं, हमारा तरीका a unique individual तरीका in the world है। Our tariqa is very unique, very individual in the entire world. No one has a living and a present Imam. No one has the Noor and Isme Azam through the Imam Zaman like we do. And we should appreciate that. We should value that. And if we do that, Imam's mercy, Imam's guidance will be upon us. And if you look at these 4 points here on your screen, you will no longer be counted under the blind, but you will be counted under the one who has eyesight to see, to know, and to recognize the Imam of the time. You will know him and you will recognize him. उसको जानेंगे भी, उसको पहचानेंगे भी. क्यों? कि हमारे पास एक ऐसी चीज है जिसकी हमने कदर की, वो है हमारा इमाम. किसी के पास भी नहीं है दुनिया में, सिर्फ हमारे पास है. डार्कनेस वर्सेस नूर. क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जो लोग अंधेरे में है, जो लोग इल्म के बगैर जहालत में है, जो लोग इमाम के बगैर हिदायत के बगैर है, और वो लोग जो नूर के साथ है, रोशनी में है, इमाम के साथ है, इमाम के फरमान के साथ है, वो बराबर बराबर हो सकते हैं? नहीं. The one who is in the ignorancy, in the darkness, without the nur, and those with the imam and his hidayat and his nur cannot be the same. I'm not saying this. Quran is asking this question. Imam is asking this question. Kinan is asking this question. So we may know the value of our self being born in Ismaili Tariqah, value of our Tariqah, how unique our Tariqah is, without putting any other Tariqah down, and how valuable is Imam, a living Imam, a continuous guidance, and the nur of the Imam in our Tariqah. So we may seek that guidance, that knowledge, and that nur from the Imam Zaman. Because if we don't value, we have no reason to be guided. If we don't value, we have no reason to be knowing or recognizing the Imam. Another comparison, the one who is living and one who is dead. Here we are not talking about those people who have died. We are talking about those who are living full life according to the Imam's farman, under the light of his nur, under the light of his guidance, under the light of his ilme laduni, meaning they are completely living a full life of a mu'min, versus those who are living but living dead. They have no concept, ilm, understanding, guidance, nur, nearness of the Imam. And therefore, due to the not having the nur and the light and the guidance and the nearness of the Imam, they are just as good as dead. आप समझ रहे हैं ना कि वो लोग हकीकी मानों में जिंदा है जो इमाम के नूर की रोशनी में हकीकी मोमिन की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं, इमाम को जानते और पहचानते हुए. ये सब्जेक्ट काश हमको 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 साल पहले पढ़ाया गया होता तो शायद हमारी जिंदगी आज बहुत ही मुख्तलिफ होती. Perhaps this subject, this teaching was given to us 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Our life as a moment would be different. But no worries. Every day that we live on this earth is the day and the day of opportunity to learn, to understand, and inshallah come closer to the Imam, come more closer to the Nur of the Imam, and come more closer to the one who is above all else. Every single day we are breathing, we are living, we have one day to fulfill Imam's farman. And what is that farman? To recognize the Imam of the time. Here, the last point, the true beliefs versus ill concept. With advance apology, asking for forgiveness, I do not mean to touch anyone emotional or intellect here. Those of my brother and sister, I still call them my brother and sister. Those of my friends, I still call them my friends, who do not understand what Imam is, who he is, how his nur functions, what rank he holds. You are still my friend, my brother and sister. I have feeling for you in my heart. But if you do not know, then all of your Aqidah concepts, views are on the wrong path. Sorry to say that, my apology. But I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to awake you. I'm here to jolt you. मैं यहाँ पर ये अर्ज करना चाहता हूं कि मेरे वो भाई बहन और मेरे वो दोस्त कि जो इमाम को नहीं जानते हैं, नहीं पहचानते हैं और उसकी वैल्यू को नहीं जानते हैं और वो नहीं समझते हैं कि हम कौन सी जगह पर खड़े हुए हैं इमाम के साथ, उस नूर को नहीं समझ पाते हैं. अफसोस के साथ मैं ये बात इसलिए नहीं कह रहा हूं कि मुझे आपको तकलीफ पहुंचानी है. मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं ताकि मैं आपको जगाना चाहता हूं, मैं आपको झंझोड़ना चाहता हूं ताकि आप उठ जाएं, जाग जाएं, गफलत से निकल आए, नींद को छोड़ दें और एक अच्छे पक्के इमाम के मुरीद बन जाएं. और इस फरमान के ऊपर चलने के लिए हमारे पास कई मौका है, यानी कि इमाम को पहचानने की कोशिश करें. Recognize the Imam of the time. यहां पर ये मकसद है. आगे चलते हैं. जिस तरह से दौरे शरीयत के अंदर, let's move forward. Just like in the time of Shariat, we were taught that Allah is far away, up in the heaven somewhere, unreachable, uncomprehensible. In Tariqat, we were taught who is Allah. In Hakikat, Imam told us who is Ali Allah. So we may move toward the marifat, where we can recognize the Imam of the time of Qiyamah. Do we understand this? आए उसको उर्दू के अंदर एक्सप्लोर करते हैं। जिस तरह से शरीयत में हमें कहा जाता था कि खुदा आसमानों में है कहीं हमारी पहुंच से दूर, फिर तरीकत में हमें बताया गया कि इमाम ही अल्लाह, फिर हकीकत में इमाम ने फरमान फरमाया कि इमाम ही अली अल्लाह है, ताकि हम उसकी समझ के साथ, उसकी पहचान के साथ मारिफत यानी कि इमाम की रिकग्नाइजेशन, इमाम शनासी तक पहुंच सके। आपने देखा, एंड यू कैन सी द तालीमात ऑफ द टाइम ऑफ द शरीयत was different than time of the tariqat and the time of haqiqat. As what we eat as a baby, milk, as a child, soft food, as an adult, we have different kind of food, solid food. Just like that, at the time of the Shariat, ilm was liquid. At the time of tariqat, ilm was soft. At the time of haqiqat, ilm is hard. Ilm is hard. आप मिसाल को समझ गए कि जिस तरह से शरीयत की मिसाल एक बेबी की है जो अभी अभी पैदा हुई है, उसके लिए सिर्फ दूध होता है। फिर तरीकत की मिसाल एक ऐसे बच्चे की है जो सिर्फ खिचड़ी और नरम खाना खाता है। हकीकत की मिसाल ऐसी है जैसा एक जवान आदमी बिरयानी, न्यारी और सॉलिड फूड खा सकता है। इसी तरह से शरीयत के अंदर हमें लिक्विड इल्म दिया गया ताकि हमारे बदअज़मी ना हो जाए। तरीकत में हमें सॉफ्ट नरम खाना खिलाया गया, इल्म दिया गया ताकि हमें बदअज़मी ना हो जाए। हकीकत का इल्म बहुत भारी है, शायद इसीलिए हम उसको खाना पसंद नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि हकीकत का इल्म बहुत ही भारी है, समझ में नहीं आता है, हमें बदअज़मी हो जाती है। जब कोई कहता है अली अल्लाह तो हमें बेचैनी होने लगती है, बदअज़मी हो जाती है कि मैं क्या करूं इस अल्फाज का। हमारे पेट में दर्द होता है, हमारे दिमाग में हेडेक हो जाता है। When someone says Ali Allah, all of a sudden our stomach start to roll and we start to have a headache, because the ilm of haqiqat is hard. We must accept the ilm of haqiqat is not soft, is not easy, it's hard. And we can see people running around with the tummy pain and headache because they don't know what to do with this ilm, which is the ilm of the time of Qiyamah. Hakiki ilm is not soft, it's hard. We accept that. But inshallah, our iman is more firm today than ever before. Yes, what I'm saying, that our faith should be and is, I believe, more firm today than ever, that we are able to eat this solid food, this hard ilm that is coming our way in the time of Qiyamah. We are more like adult wise. with more ilm, more understanding, more resources, with a firm belief. And I'm looking at some folks on this line. You are firm in your belief. Your stomach does not roll when I say Ali Allah. Your mind, your head does not get headache because of your firm belief. It comes easy to you. The talimat of the time of Shariat, we saw it was from the Prophet and the Imams in the time of Shariat. But then you noticed, then time of Tariqat, we had Imams, no more Prophet, and the peace to teach us, to guide us. The format changed of the ilm, of the talimat, of the teaching. Then came the time of hakikat, where is pure time of the manifestation, direct ilm from the Imam. And Imam ilm is not easy. I don't know how many times, I cannot even count anymore, I have said Imam's Farman and understanding Imam Farman is very, very hard because it's like a solid food. You have to have a tummy for it. You have to have mind for it. And this is the time we are living in today, where Imam is directly, without the hujjat, without the peace, is teaching us directly. With the belief that we are adult today, we are more firm in our belief today, we are more mature today, and therefore we can take this solid food, this hard ilm that coming your way in the time of Qiyamah is there with the belief that you are adult with solid stomach to take this solid food, this ilm of the time of Qiyamah. इस दौर के हकीकत के अंदर, इस दौर क़यामत के अंदर इमाम हमें इल्म डायरेक्टली दे रहा है, और इमाम का इल्म बहुत मुश्किल है। इमाम के फरमान को समझना हर एक की बस की बात नहीं है, बहुत मुश्किल है। लेकिन इस उम्मीद के साथ कि हम शरीयत को पीछे छोड़ आए हैं और आगे बढ़कर हमने तरीकत को अपनाया, तरीकत को भी पीछे छोड़ा है, आगे बढ़कर हमने हकीकत को अपनाया, और हकीकत के जमाने में इमाम का इल्म डायरेक्टली जमात को मिलता है, और इमाम के इल्म को समझना बहुत मुश्किल है। लेकिन इंशाल्लाह आज हमारा ईमान ज्यादा मजबूत है, हम ज्यादा मेच्योर हो गए हैं, लायक हो गए हैं कि हम इमाम के इल्म को डायरेक्टली ले सकें और इमाम को जानकर पहचान सके। In one of the Quranic ayat, where in Surah 31, ayat number 20, talks about the present, meaning time of Shariat, present in example time of Tariqat, and the present in the time of Hakikat together. In this ayat, one single line, talks about the time of Shariat, time of Tariqat, and time of Hakikat. It talks about the knowledge of the time of Prophet Muhammad and Mullah Ali. Talks about the guidance from the tariqat, from the Imam and the Pir, and also talk about the Hakiki ilm, the Nur, and the direct ilm of the time of Hakikat today in one single ayat. It comes as a negative ayat that there are amongst you, they argue, they refuse the Imam, they reject the position of the Imam without any knowledge, without any guidance, and without any nur. Meaning, they may thought that they knew the Shariat, but they did not understood the Shariat. They thought they knew the ilm, but they did not understand the ilm. And they thought they knew the Imam, but they did not understand the Imam. ये एक ऐसी आयत है जो हमको शरीयत, तरीकत और हकीकत के जमाने का एक साथ नजारा कराती है। फरमाया गया कि तुम में से कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो खुदा के बारे में, इमाम के बारे में आर्ग्यूमेंट करते हैं, झूठी दलाइल देते हैं, उसको रिजेक्ट करते हैं कि इमाम तो हमारे जैसा आदमी है, इमाम कुछ भी नहीं है मगर हमारे जैसा इंसान है। खुदा फरमाता है ना तो उनके पास शरीयत है, ना ही उनके पास इल्म है, ना ही उनके पास हिदायत है, ना ही उनके पास तरीकत है, और ना ही उनके पास हकीकी इल्म है, ना ही उनके पास नूर है। इसी वजह से तो वो ये कहते हैं कि इमाम कुछ नहीं हमारे जैसा है। नौज़बिल्लाह, इमाम को नहीं जानते हैं, नहीं पहचानते हैं। यहाँ पर जो अल्फाज आया किताब मुनीर, नूरानी किताब, लुमिनस बुक, वो इमाम के लिए है। इमाम वो जिंदा जागती नूरानी बुक है जो हमारे दरमियान में है, एक नूर की सूरत में। The word in this ayat, kitab munir, the luminous book, the nurani kitab, is for the imam. Imam is the living, present nurani book. And here we can see in the luminous book, in the verse 31:20, God says, yet of mankind is one who dispute concerning God, the Imam, without knowledge. They don't have any knowledge, or guidance. They have no guidance. Meaning they did not learn anything from the Prophet and the Ali. They did not listen to the Pir and the Imam, nor they have luminous book, nor they have the nur of the Imam of the time. So they falsely dispute and argue about the Imam. I hope we are not counted in that. जब खुदा ने फरमाया कि देखें ये वो लोग हैं जो आर्ग्यूमेंट करते हैं इमाम के बारे में, इसलिए कि बेचारों के पास ना तो कोई इल्म है, ना तो उन्होंने मोहम्मद और अली का नूर लिया, ना ही उन्होंने हिदायत ली इमाम और पीरों से ज्ञान के जरिए से, और ना ही उसके पास जमाने के इमाम का नूर है। इसलिए वो ऐसी बातें करते हैं। मुझे उम्मीद है कि हम में से कोई भी ऐसा शख्स नहीं जो ये बात करता हो। Here in the cycle of prophethood, in the time of Shariat, by knowledge is meant the Hujjat. By the guidance, it means the Imam. And by the luminous book, the Prophet at the time of Shariat. In the cycle of Imamat today, by the knowledge is meant the Da'i, the Ilm Da'i. By guidance, it means Hujjat, the Ilm of the Peers. And by the luminous book, the Imam, the living and the present Imam. For the Tawili ranks and the hudud of the religion are in the accordance with the requirements of the time and the place. Let me explain this. The Tawil of the Quran constantly changes according to the time and the place. At the time of Shariat, different understanding. Time of Tariqat, different understanding. Time of Hakikat, another yet different understanding. आपने देखा कि तावील का ताल्लुक जगह और जमाने से है। यही आयत का मतलब दौरे शरीयत में और कुछ होता था, दौरे तरीकत में और कुछ होता था, और आज जमाना हकीकत में और कुछ होता है। क्योंकि इसी तरह से हर जमाने का इमाम जमाने के मुताबिक और जगह के मुताबिक कुरान की तावील फरमाता है। सुभान अल्लाह। Little further, same ayat, further, it should be known that in the cycle of imamat, meaning in our time, the da'i is ilmul yaqeen. In the time of imamat, when we say da'i, we are talking about the ilm of da'i, and ilm of da'i is the example of ilmul yaqeen. The hujjat is ainul yaqeen. When we say peer, we are talking about the ilm of the peer, ilm, the such a ilm which he has experienced in his spiritual ibadat. That ilm of the peers, meaning Ginan. And the Imam is called Haqqul Yaqeen. The ilm of the Imam comes from when we are near to the Imam, hopefully one with the Imam, and only then Haqqul Yaqeen will come out of the Mu'min. यानी कि इमाम का इल्म लदुनी चाहिए, इमाम का हकीकी इल्म चाहिए, तो आपको 3 जगह पर मिलेगा। If you want the ilm of the Imam, the hakiki ilm of the Imam, you will find it in 3 places. In the books of the Da'i, in the Ginan of the Peers, or you become one with the Imam, or you find those Arifin who have become one with the Imam, and they can give you the ilm al-laduni which they have received from the Imam. आप समझिए कि जब हम इस जमाने की बात करते हैं और जब हम दाई के इल्म की बात करते हैं, उन किताबों की बात करते हैं जो हम दाई हमारे लिए छोड़ के गए हैं, तो उसको पढ़ने से हमारे अंदर एक ईमान जगता है जिसको इल्मुल यकीन कहते हैं। The certainty of knowledge, the faith or the iman, the belief comes from the ilm. वो ईमान जो इल्म के जरिए से हमारे अंदर पैदा होता है. जब हम ऐनुल यकीन कहते हैं तो वो ईमान जो देखने से, रूहानी मुशाहिदात करने से हमारे अंदर पैदा होते हैं. और जब हम कहते हैं हक़ुल यकीन तो वो इल्म, वो ईमान जो इमाम में एक हो जाने की वजह से हमारे अंदर पैदा हो सकता है. अगर ये हमें तीनों इल्म चाहिए तो हमें चाहिए इल्मुल यकीन दाई की किताबों से लें, ऐनुल यकीन पीरों के गिनान से लें, और हक़ुल यकीन इमाम में एक होकर हासिल कर लें. और ये कहां से मिलेगा? उन आरिफों से जो आज इमाम में फना हो चुके हैं, उनसे ये इल्म मिलता है हमें. हमारी खुशकिस्मती देखें कि हमारे पास जमाने का इमाम हाजिर और मौजूद है. Look at how fortunate we are that we have the living and present Imam and the Noor-e Ilahi with us. That's how fortunate we are. The very last slide, and then we will stop. This is just summary of what we just talked about. In 2 minutes, we will go through the summary. We talked about ilm, ilm of the Dai, ilmul yaqeen, certainty of knowledge. We talked about hidayat, guidance, ilm of the Pir and Hujjat, ainul yaqeen, the spiritual knowledge of the Pir, which they received with certainty of I, because they had the spiritual experiences. Haqqul yaqeen, Kitab Munir, the Imam, when we are close to him, when we are one with him, we will receive the certainty of truth. Haqqul yaqeen. These are the also 3 levels of Imam Shanasi, recognition of Imam. The question a friend asked last week, how do we get to complete Imam Shanasi? And they were told, come through the ladder, step by step, from Ilmul Yaqeen through Ainul Yaqeen into Haqqul Yaqeen. That's how you come into the Imam Shanasi. First step, Ilmul Yaqeen. Take the ilm and believe the ilm. Second question, Ainul Yaqeen. See the ilm, experience the ilm. Third step, come close to the Noor of Imam and experience that Noor for yourself. Become one with the Imam. So may Imam teach you ilm al-laduni, the spiritual ilm of the Imam. So I will stop here, and inshallah, if you have any comments, any question, today we will not take too long. We will finish by 9:15 or in next 10 minutes. We will stop this session. So the friends, they're living in Americas, they have marlas this morning, so they can go to Jamaat Khana. 10 minutes. What comments or question or any discussion would you like to have?
Subhanallah, sir. Friends, share your question in the chat, or you can unmute your device.
सर याली मदद
Yali Madad?
सर मुझे ये पूछना था कि आपने ये जो समरी बताई ना तीनों में, तो इसमें कुरान शरीफ मेंशन नहीं हुआ ना, गिनान मेंशन करे, आप बुक्स करे, इमाम करे, तो
किताब मुनीर कुरान से आया है. हिदायत, गिनान से आया है, इल्म दाई से आया, और सब कुछ हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की तरफ से और मौला अली की तरफ से आया। जब हम कहते हैं कुल्ली, उसके अंदर तमाम चीजें शामिल होती है। जब हम कहते हैं इमाम, वकुल्ल शैन, तमाम चीजें उसमें शामिल होती है। जब हम कहते हैं कुरान, तो उसमें गिनान और इल्म भी शामिल होता है। जब हम कहते हैं गिनान, तो उसमें कुरान और इल्म भी शामिल होता है। जब हम कहते हैं इमाम, इल्म लदुनी, उसमें सब शामिल होता है। जी,
थैंक यू सर, शुक्र अल्लाह, थैंक यू।
इसका एक कुलिया है, ऑल इन वन एंड वन इन ऑल। और हमारी दुआ के अंदर वकुल्ल शैइन, इन अल्फाजों को याद करें, इंशाल्लाह तमाम इल्मी तकालीफ दूर हो जाएंगी। जी, we have a very short time. If you wanted to ask something, you wanted to add something, make a comment, please do so. Then we will end this session quickly today. Any comments? Any question?
Aziz, sir, I have a question or a
Ji.
comment. So I think a few minutes ago you had mentioned that if one does not have the Ain al-Yaqeen, that they can learn from, let's say, an Arif who has Ain al-Yaqeen, which means that there's some vision or some experience that the Arif can teach to others who then will accept it as knowledge, but they'll learn from those who've had that ability to see. So I have a question that on the one hand, you know, as we all know, we have many firmans from the Imam to says that when one has that spiritual experience, then you don't talk about it to others. We're familiar with that. But at the same time, we also have this passage from Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's memoirs, which it's not too long. I'm going to read it really quickly, which I think is almost seems to say that you should, well, that somebody should share because we have to be able to study that. So the quote says, naturally, since our brain is material and its processes and all the consequences of its processes are material, the moment that we put either thought or spiritual experience into words, this material basis of the brain must give a material presentation to even the highest, most transcendent spiritual experience. But men can study objectively the direct and subjective experiences of those who have had spiritual enlightenment without
Subhanallah.
material intervention. So if we can study the experiences of those who had spiritual enlightenment, then obviously that means somebody had to have shared it, otherwise we cannot study and learn from those experiences. So on the one hand, we have that we should learn from them, and the other hand, we have don't reveal your spiritual experiences. So how do we understand these two?
Right, very easily. The word certainty, that we see here, the word certainty. The ilm da'i, the ilm al-yaqeen, the certainty of knowledge, comes from that spiritual experiences that da'is had. In other words, da'is shared their ruhani spiritual experiences. The ilmul yaqeen, the certainty of I, which comes from the hujjat, the peers, they did share their ruhani spiritual experiences with the Jamaat. When Imam says do not share, meaning if you do not know how to not share or how to share such a high spiritual experiences, because you don't have the amr, permission, nor you have the ilm or the experience how to share, then don't share. At the same time, Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alaihi will literally and physically will come to the Jamaat and will say, you stand up and share your spiritual experience with the Jamaat. We see we have those events, history, and here in the memoirs openly, in one of the Betul Khayal of Mola Bapa says this fine line. First Mola Bapa said, don't share. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Then Mola Bapa says this one fine line. And I said it before. Understanding Imam's Farman is almost impossible. Imam says, unless they would have the spiritual experience, and then if you share, they will understand. There's a one fine line there. Those who have given the permission to share, the keyword is Amar, to share. They do share and they can share. For all others, listen to Imam Farman, do not share. Do not share. Because you may have the spiritual experience, but you don't have a permission to share. G. You can also say one other thing. When those mu'mineen share their spiritual experience, you will never know. You will never know that they are sharing their spiritual experiences with you. G. Great comment, question. Thank you. 2 more minutes. Last comment, last question.
So if you want to take the question, when one receive knowledge from an arfin who has Hakul Yaqeen, will that be considered Ilmul Yaqeen for the Mu'mineen?
Yes, that is a good understanding. Absolutely. The ilm from the arifin, from the ginans, and from the true ilm from the Dai's book. Not every book has true ilm, okay? So be careful. True ilm is considered if you believe ilmul yaqeen. The key word is if you believe, then that becomes your first step toward the spiritual world, because now you have ilmul yaqeen. G. Very good question or comment. So, Kamar sir, 1 minute left. Anyone want to take a shot?
Yes, sir. I
I
think
have a question or the comment, and it is about Pir Sadruddin. Pir Sadruddin used to do ibadat for 16 hours, and he said that you keep your imam in front of you because he's there all the time. And if you do that, then you've got no problems.
Absolutely. And what Mola Baba says? Keep your tasbih with you. Remember him even if you have a second, 5 seconds, a minute. Take the tasbih. Remember Allah. Remember Muhammad. Remember Ali. Remember any name of the Imam. You can be like Pir Sadruddin. You can be even go higher than that. You can do tasbih for 17 hours a day. Why limit yourself to 16 hours? It is possibility in today's time. It is absolutely possibility in today's time. Otherwise, Imam would not have given us that farman. 2 farman, I'm talking about 2 different farman. You can be like Pir Sadruddin, you can go even above that. Take your tasbih, remember even if you have a second, 5 seconds or a minute. It's not limited to 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, half a day, any time. Standing up, sitting, sleeping, take the name, remember the name of Allah, Muhammad and Ali or any of the Imam. Thank you.
But
We will stop with this great note. Thank you, my brother, for commenting. Inshallah, we will meet again next week and we will move forward in this chapter. If you have any more comments, question, keep it to yourself. Bring it, share with Kamar Sahib. We will address every single question, inshallah, if Imam helps. Thank you very much. Ya Ali Madad. Ya Ali Madad.
Yali Madad, and thank you.
Yali
Ya Ali
Madad, thank
Madad.
you.
Yali
Madad,
sir.
sir. Thanks.
Ya Ali
Yali
Thank you,
Madad.
sir.
thank
Yali
you.
Madad.
Yali Madad.
Madad.